So there is some guidelines that were kind of distributed to everybody. And I just want to read this and kind of get everybody on the same page before we get started. So regardless of whether you're a parent, a teacher, a student, or a community leader, we're all here today because we care about the kids, our kids, and are invested in the success of our children. For this listening session, we're in support of modeling respectful behavior and dialogue for our children, treating each other well as fellow humans, becoming comfortable with cognitive dissonance, having an open mind and embracing diverse viewpoints, curiosity and active listening, and being part of the solution. So before we open up the room to anything, I wanted to take a moment for everybody to kind of have a moment to breathe. So if you feel comfortable joining me, I want to welcome you to close your eyes. This is kind of going to be a grounding session. As you close your eyes, I want you to take a deep breath in. Exhale. Take another deep breath in. I want for all of us to remember that we're all here with the same purpose, right? As community. We're here because we care about our children. We're here because we care about each other. And we're here to really look for a safe space to be able to hear the voices of community members as well as our teachers. We've had a few events that have occurred that have been destructive, I guess you could say, to the school. But I think that when things like that happen and opportunities like tonight arise, that it's a great opportunity for us to come together and really move forward in community towards looking for solutions. We have a panel of teachers. I think that there was a lot of miscommunication as to how tonight's session was going to go. The teachers are here because they care about the students. They volunteered to be here, and it was a very brave thing that they've done to sit up here and kind of be at the spotlight of what's going to be talked about tonight. We will have the opportunity to ask the teachers questions solely to get their perspective on things that they're kind of seeing internally within the schools, and because they are the ones that are working directly with our children. When we open the mic up for any comments or any questions, I do want to try to keep the questions to a minimum for the teachers, because what we really want to hear is a dialogue between teachers and community. There are certain topics that we do not want to touch on today. We will not be talking about SROs and other sensitive topics. So if you guys could please be respectful of that. And I think we can get started.
Starting with Ms. Vasquez, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves.
Hi, good evening. I'm Ms. Vasquez. I've been at Charlottesville High School. This is my 19th year. I teach English learners, mainly our newcomer, refugees and asylum seekers who are cared for at end of life. This is in our ELD program, formerly known as EFL. In addition, I sponsor our Culture peer tutoring program, our multilingual mentors peer mentoring program, International Club, and Latinx. And I have organized our Celebrate Diversity Assemblies over the years, which went on pause for COVID, but is coming back this March. And I'm very pleased about that. And I'm happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Pam Brown. This is my 24th year here at Charlottesville High School, 26th year in the Charlottesville City Schools. I'm an exceptional education teacher, but this year I've also added jobs for Virginia graduates. I'm kind of double dipping between exceptional ed and general ed this year. I'm also the cheerleading coach, homecoming court coordinator, junior class sponsor, STA co-coordinator, and a few other things. I'm also going to be doing Black History Month again this year, and I'm really happy to be here as well.
They have much better resumes than I do. I'm Holly Faulkner. This is my second year at CHS, 20th year teaching. I came from the county, and everyone asks me if I'm happy that I made the switch, and I am. And that's all I got.
My name is Joseph Patterson. I teach Algebra 1 here. This is my 15th year of teaching. I first started here in special education, but now I've been teaching Algebra 1, and I also work with Holly Faulkner as well. Glad to be here.
Hi, my name is Matt Deegan, and this is my 11th year teaching history here at Charlottesville High School. I'm here to just care about all the humans in this school. I've been there for 11 years, and I'm grateful to be on the stage with these professionals who are great educators, and also, like, Joseph can sing. If you ever get a chance to hear him sing, Holly, I see at the CHS track at 5:30 a lot. She is an avid runner and pretty fast. She's part of the prolific crew, and she's Boston Marathon finisher, right? Pam does everything for this school. Pam was our nurse at one point. She driver's ed. Seriously, she's one of the glues of this school, and has been for a while. And it's so great that she is speaking tonight. It's so great to have her in our community. And Tina, I met Tina when I was a reporter for Daily Progress in 2006, doing some stories about ESL students, and she was passionate then about her program, and her passion continues 17 years later. So we're fortunate to have her still in the community as well. And as I think about tonight, I teach my students this too in history class. The us versus them narrative is too simple. And whether you're talking about historical figures or events, and let's try not to create that too simple narrative today of us versus them or whatnot. So. Okay, Matt.
Before we go into our first question, I just wanted to address something that I forgot. We do have two school board members that are in the audience. They are here for only listening capacity tonight. They have said that if you have any questions that you want to ask them directly, they're more than happy to be pulled aside to have a one-on-one with any parents. But we intentionally only brought 2 school board members in, because if we would have had 3, it would have been a school board meeting. We would have had to call it that, and it would have been more detailed, and we don't want to do that. And we also have 2 that are school board members that are going to be sworn in January, and that's Amanda Burns and Shamora Cooper. So thank you all for being here tonight. I'm going to start with the first question.
Having met with a couple of our school members elect yesterday, they asked me this question, and I thought I would pass it on to our teachers, who are the experts. And all of these questions, I think, are coming from a place where we all assume and believe that all 1,400 of our kids need to be served to the best of our abilities. So the question is, if we had unlimited resources / a magic wand, what would we change to better serve all 1,400 kids? Start with an easy one.
I'll start. I guess if we had unlimited resources, I would want to have more things that are fun and less academic. We got away from workplace readiness. We got away from fun. I mean, our kids don't necessarily know how to have just a fun time at school. That's one thing I would spend resources on, maybe some clubs, things for us to do. Being able to bring more people into our school from outside of our school, like, you know, from the community. There are a lot of people, a lot of talented people in our community that maybe if we brought them in, you know, people could see, you know, we need more role models for our students. We need them to see that there are people in our community who are doing great things. It doesn't have to come, they don't have to come from Richmond, they don't have to come from Washington DC, they don't have to come from outside of Charlottesville, Virginia. So I think I would spend money on that.
So, given the fact that we have unlimited resources, the first thing I would start with is helping the students to have their basic needs met. Oftentimes, you know, sometimes with limited resources to their basic needs, food, clothing, shelter, I would make sure that that is primary and making sure that they have a safe place to stay, to live, to go home to. And those basic needs are met. Then I would also construct education around experience so that they can experience learning more and not just go in and get educational knowledge dispensed to them, but have them experience learning through project-based opportunities, through collaborative spaces, being able to connect with those people in society who's doing the work, and being able to learn on the job training, different skills like that that's going to prepare them post-graduation.
Oh, I would echo what Joseph said. I reimagining public education. I think the system is not working. I think post-COVID, we thought that the impact of a global pandemic didn't impact our public education spaces in the way that it did. And we're trying to operate on an archaic system right now. And I think if we could do all that Joseph said, plus just a communal approach, and also I would pay us more. I mean, I'm gonna be really honest. I would pay us more, so, and I'll pass it on. I think teachers, I think we all have great hearts, but we are not attracting the best in the business because you can't afford to be a teacher. So I think that's something that everyone's like, oh, but you love it. Yes, we absolutely do love it, but we are steering away minority teachers. We are steering young minority teachers because they can't afford to do it. So while taking care of the community and our students, I think you have to take care of us.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. We need to hire more teachers, so there are more teachers in the building, so that we have class sizes that are smaller. There's a lot of research to say smaller class sizes leads to better teaching and instruction and outcomes. So I know it's hard, but we need to do that. We also need to staff the positions that we currently have right now, and find a way to attract substitute teachers so that as a staff, we are not kind of in a patchwork way covering classes. And that requires money and also, you know, recruitment and all of that, but that's what I do.
Okay, I guess I still want to wave my magic on. At the start with Joseph and echo that, just so many resources. The school is a reflection of the community, right? So just resources, basic needs, but then also mental wellness, social emotional learning support. And then I would wave my wand at the school. I put windows in all the classrooms. But just to have like bright, happy, encouraging spaces that you want to walk into, with more space so that we're not bumping into each other, into the packed little virtual classrooms, flexible seating, and then dig into more collaborative learning. I used to teach a class called Becoming a Global Citizen, and it was a democratic classroom. It was student-led, and it was amazing, giving students tools and agency to be able to dig into all the deep, real issues of life and to create their own research projects and their own community solutions. Some of the programs that I sponsored were actually created by students at CHS. And one of my loves is out there right now in immigration law now. I'm so proud of you, Elizabeth. But even opportunities for classes to collaborate on projects, community partners, we touched on the experiential learning. We're not living the factory model anymore. We're living new times, and yeah, change. Universities and workplaces, they don't need for you to be able to memorize facts. They need you to be able to collaborate, work together with others, disagree respectfully, fail forward, all those things we call soft skills, but which I think are the most important skills. So I'd love to build that.
All right, who's ready? We have a microphone down here at the bottom of the stage. And if you have a comment that you would like to make, you're welcome to come up to the microphone. The comments will be limited to 2 minutes, and we have somebody that off at 2 minutes. Don't think it's trying to be rude, we're just trying to make sure that everybody that has something to say has the opportunity to do so.
Hi. Thank you for being here. I'm wondering if I'm in the wrong meeting because my kid wasn't in school on Friday. He wasn't in school today. So I'm wondering if I'm in the right meeting because I haven't heard why it is the teachers didn't come to work. What I understand, and I think that maybe I don't have all the facts, there's been group fights, a cycle of them with the same groups fighting each other inside the school building. So that's the part that I understand. I know that for one incident, there was an outsider let into the physical confines of the building by another student. So I think what I'd like to hear is policy-wise, and I don't see a policy maker up there. What is going to change with the policy so that you're safe? Is there a policy maker here?
That's the school board. The school board sets the policy for the schools, not the council. The council has a city council.
Yes. Is there a school board member that can
That's what you
speak
said
to
in the
this?
beginning. There's 2 here and there's 2 elects here as well.
I just want to remind everybody that tonight is to have the opportunity to voice what it is that we're feeling, but we're not looking for answers tonight, right?
That's my question. I don't know the answer to it.
So your feedback would be, we need to address policy.
Yes, I'd like to hear a policy
And
answer.
I think everybody in the room would agree with that. So this is when we give the opportunity for our teachers, if they feel comfortable, to give some insight as to why we had call-outs. And if they don't feel comfortable with that, then we will continue and move on.
Yeah, I think there's several questions. I think, we've had, I think it's clear, it's been put out that, we're having a reset, we're having a lot of courageous conversations with staff to reset so that we can better prepare ourselves for when the students do re-enter to the space. I think if we can look at nationwide, there's so many different things that is impacting our ability to be effective in the spaces. And so we're on a reset. We had amazing training today to restore, to reclaim, to reconnect with each other. And so we're just kind of reviewing everything so that we can be better prepared and giving us just a reset to restart, and we'll come back together on Monday to receive our students.
Other thing I didn't mention in my introduction is that I'm also a parent of a 10th grader here at CHS. So I have both perspectives. And I have to say, I really appreciate that our admin and our school board responded when teachers, we are the ones daily working with our students and we see what's going on. We haven't had a principal for a little bit of time, and we saw some things that were of concern. And so before it gets too out of hand, we said, oh, yeah, let's be proactive. Let's have a pause. And today we just had hours of really productive dialogue where our staff, we were all together and we were working on digging into the root causes of different issues going on that are affecting not just our school, but schools around the country. A lot of this definitely stems from COVID. There's not enough discussion of the damage that was done during COVID to our adolescents, the developmental loss, not just the academic loss. They were in middle school. That was a time of critical social development, figuring out how to interact with people. How do I fit in? How do I belong? How do I be in person with people? And our kids were isolated in their bedrooms on their phones. Their phones were their only lifelines to be able to communicate. And then they suddenly came back in. There are a lot of skills they still need to figure out, a lot of them. And so we want to really support all the needs of all of our students. So I, for one, I understand as a parent, this is 3 days that my child's not in school, but I would rather have 3 days that he's not in school and have him come back after break to a new and improved, refocused, re-energized, reunited school to have a better experience every day after that.
I just want to add one more thing to that. We didn't want to come back to business as usual when it wasn't business as usual. In the past, I've been here for a very long time. As I said, generally large things have been happening on a Friday. And then you have the weekend to reset, and then you come back on Monday, and here we go again. So business as usual was not going to happen this time. We're tired. We do not want to have business as usual. We needed to have a time to come back. And I just need to say, this kills me. I love being with my students. I'm here probably 12 to 14 hours a day, most days. So being out of school where can be inconvenient, it can be upsetting, but for us, it was necessary. We can't go back to what was. We have to change. And if we don't change, if things don't change, we're gonna have a meeting with this and we're gonna be doing the same thing next time.
We can go ahead and take the next comment. I'm not sure who was.
Hello, I have a 10th grader here at CHS and I have a recent CHS grad. First, I'd like to just say to the teachers, thank you so much for everything that you do. For all the parents in this received multiple emails for the past few days from her teachers saying how much they missed seeing students in class and giving them messages of support. And I want to say thank you for that. I'm disappointed this conversation tonight is just listening and not planning and doing. As a parent, air our grievances, and we don't have an issue with the teachers, we completely support you. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for speaking for us. Thank you for letting me know as a parent what the heck is going on at this school, because I hear stories from my kids, but then I don't know sometimes what's really serious and what's not. And I really appreciate getting more information from what you shared. But teachers, that's why we're here. We support you. Our issue is not with you, and we appreciate hearing your feedback. I think what's missing here is communication. Because everyone else is because we want to help fix the problem. But we don't know what the problem is. We don't know how deep the problem is, because the school system is not being honest and forthright with us. Trying to paint things with a pretty rosy picture. We have issues. Let's deal with them. Let's do that.
The number one thing we're looking for is safety.
Safety.
Okay? You don't want another Columbine. None of them other schools that had that. And I just heard my child tell me that they was letting kids in. So what if a gun came in that day as well? All of us parents would be doing the same thing those other schools do. Safety. Give us that.
Once again, I'll echo what other commenters have said. Thank you, teachers. Thank you to the current and incoming board members, Dr. Gurley, for being here and listening. Teachers, one of the things I heard you guys say is that you wanted to take a break, we needed a reset. It can't be business as usual. And I realize this is not a board meeting, we're not here to get policy answers, but what did you hear today that is going to change specifically, that isn't going to be business as usual? I would love to hear that.
Out of privacy for what took place today, which was part of our agreement, because a lot of times it seems like things are happening and then different messages are getting sent out to the public. But I will say today, I felt that that need to be fleshed out more, but with the safety concern, there's going to be a solution. It was addressed. There is going to be something, an actionable step with figuring out things in the hallway. I don't think we have it figured out yet. We took more steps today than we have in some time. In terms of when students violate the regulations, there is an actionable step that is going to take place.
And I will say, it was important to have that space to be able to talk to each other as a staff to be able to get to that spot. And we don't, normally kind of in the trenches and not able to do that and come together like that. So it was important to have the day to do that.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna add, I think what happened today was very necessary in the sense of there was a lot of transparency, there was a lot of accountability, there was a lot of rebuilding of trust, because the teachers as well have some of the same concerns. And so we're still parsing through a lot of things. We still have one more day, so we don't want to prematurely, speak one direction or the other, and we do hear the concerns. I mean, I too have a junior here at Charlottesville High School. And so, as a parent, as an educator, we have some of the same concerns, but we accomplished a lot today. We gave space for teacher accountability from teacher to teacher. Having the district take accountability on certain things. You all sound like us addressing the district, honestly, to be quite honest. But we're still working through those. We have one more day tomorrow. And like Holly said, we're confident that this was necessary so that come Monday, that there will be actionable steps so that there will be clear expectations of what is and what should be and what should not be allowed in our school.
Sure, one thing that happened right at the beginning, I really appreciate it, is that all the teachers stood together and we were told the solutions are in this room. There was trust that bringing us together to really delve into these issues deeply, that we could create solutions. And it wasn't just, here's a new initiative, here's a new plan, here's something from the top down, you must do this now. But you know, because we're so understaffed, I mean, this is a huge issue. We are understaffed. We have currently, I think, 6 open teaching positions. There is no teacher. Those classes have to be covered day after day by other teachers. And we don't substitute. Yeah, we don't have substitute teachers. They have to be covered by other teachers during their planning periods. So we have no time even to plan amazing lessons, and we certainly don't have time to be able to collaborate like this. So this was just invaluable today. And while, yeah, I'm sure exactly what we discussed, please believe us that a lot of progress was made today, and I'm feeling a lot more hopeful for tomorrow. And the administration has given us commitment to follow up on things that we asked for, we brought up today, and we're fleshing it through the program tomorrow, or not programs, but just how tomorrow's gonna go. And then being very mindful when the students return on Monday. We're not just going back to business as usual, as Pam said in class. We are gonna start with having, allowing students to have a chance to speak too. We are all in this together, and we are all gonna solve these issues together.
My final question, and I promise I'll walk away, was the interim, incoming interim principal Leatherwood there tonight? Okay. And final comment for incoming and future board members, I hope that whatever the plan is moving forward, that would be shared with the community moving forward. And thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I wanted to express my gratitude to the teachers for staging the walkout on Friday.
Yeah.
Extend that from both of my children, they were both students here, they were both grateful that step was taken. And they've told me about some of these things that have been going on. I've heard those things as isolated incidents, or imagined them that way. And they don't have the perspective, in many cases, to know that that's not been the case. So I'm grateful that that's come from you as well. And that there's more knowledge in the community about that and more understanding about that. The question I came up to ask after expressing my gratitude was, what is it sounds like you have been able to articulate, to be heard, to have the concerns that you've had now for, I understand, quite a long time, begin to be addressed today. And I was wondering if there are concerns or measures that you can articulate that that we as a community can support.
I think one thing that we can support is all students, and the narrative around all students. A group of students are getting spoken about very poorly. And I ask for patience and for you to embrace them as part of our community.
I have to, Holly and I talked about this. Some of our students are being called thugs. Some of our students are being called names that I wouldn't call your child. So I wouldn't want you to call my child these names as well. I'm on social media. I do read Facebook. I do read X, Twitter, whatever it is now. Because I want to see what people are saying, you know? And everybody says, you know, Charlottesville High School gets such a bad rep, which is true. You know, I'm in the sports department. We go out, people are like, oh, here they come. And that's not fair, that's not right. Nobody says that about Western Albemarle or Orange when we're going through the handshake run and our boys get called for anything. We don't hear it in Albemarle, they have fights. Do we see their fights in social media and on somebody's blog or on some certain person's stuff? You know? We shall remain nameless. But so we get a bad rep and we don't deserve it. We have a lot of positive, wonderful students here at the school in a positive way. The news doesn't always have us on there. Heck, they come to a home football game and show the away cheerleaders. You may agree. We don't get the positivity that other people get. We get, oh, it's Charlottesville High School. So that narrative needs to change, and you guys can change that. So if somebody says something derogatory about somebody from my school, I expect you guys to back it up just like I do.
Go ahead.
Good evening, my name is Farida. I'm here representing a group of Afghan women, yesterday Afghan mom. And also my son also, here is a student. Yesterday we had a meeting and I have a letter from his mom with their signature and I read their message to you. We are new in this country. We are not always able to express our feeling to the school, and we are not always able to report things. We are worried that the school is not safe. This makes us not want to send our kids to school. We want our children to learn. We think that there are too many fights. We support the idea of alternative schools. We think that is the best solution for a student who struggle and are being destructive. And there is another signature from this man. Thank you.
I just want to say that I'm so pleased that you're here and that you gathered these signatures and had these discussions, and I felt safe and confident to come to this meeting. I know firsthand working with all my students, I'm sure some of my students are the children on the mothers on that list. And it's important for us to hear from all families and from all students. And I could go on at length, but I actually passionately believe that the diversity of our school is just one of the most amazing things about it. And we are really a microcosm of the country and of the world here. And your children, all of your children, have a really special, unique experience here. Being able to meet other students from all walks of life and study with them and learn with them and play sports with them and interact on all these levels. And so I want to make sure that we keep including all the voices from our community.
I would also like to add, I think part of the discussion today during our session was that very point, was how diverse our school is and how oftentimes we are very multi-ethnical, but sometimes we struggle with the multicultural in terms of our exposure as educators. Oftentimes, our cultural awareness, we get it in real time from our students, not because it's from our own social spaces. And so I think a lot of the takeaway today was really putting into place work to where we can get exposed and really develop a more well-rounded and more multicultural awareness ourselves as educators, so that we're not learning in real time and oftentimes misjudging students from our little bird's eye view, from our introduction of their culture, from the kids. Most of our social circles are homogenous. And that definitely was one of the comments and things that came up today. But safety of our students is of the utmost importance. And every student, every day, that we're going to sing that from the mountaintop.
I just wanted to add that Charlottesville United is, we actually work towards amplifying the voices of the Black, brown, low income, and marginalized communities. So seeing representation here from different backgrounds is really like a great outcome for tonight. And thank you so much for being here.
I just want to echo what a lot of the parents have said. Thank you, teachers, Mr. Wilkerson, for stepping up and being brave and saying we've got to stop and bringing this to light and forcing the issue. I have 2 kids at Charlottesville, and I have to be honest, my senior, I don't think we have gotten the education she has had anywhere else. So we have a good school, and we just need to bring it there. And my question is, do you guys truly feel that it would be a safer environment on Monday because of these days? And do you feel you have the support for disciplinary actions, if need be, from your admin? And I know he's not here, but so glad to have Mr. Holderwood back.
I think we are very optimistic because of the work that we're doing, because of the level of work. Today was intense. I'm just going to be honest with you from beginning to end. Dr. Gurley definitely set the tone to echo what Tina said, that it wasn't just like push down. It was, we're going to put these things out and we want you to have voice. There was emotions in this space, but there was also work. There was pushback, but there was also an expectation of what we needed to cover. And it was very intense. When many people left from at the end of the day, it was mentally, it was emotionally, for some it was even physically exhausting, because oftentimes what happens is we don't get to have these discussions. We have pre-service meet, we meet new teachers, and sometimes we have to reintroduce ourselves throughout the year. Today we were able to put in real work, have real discussions, and really open the floor for us to really be vulnerable and transparent. So we're very optimistic that our efforts are not going to go in vain here.
I'll echo that. I think the frustrations that you all have, that you see from the outside, we're in it. So we share some of the frustrations. I feel safe at school, that's just me personally. But there's definitely people that say they don't feel safe. So all of your concerns are represented in one teacher at this school. So you had all of your concerns in one space today, and pushback where somebody said, how could you feel that way? And so there was pushback with different dialogue. And I think the concerns were heard. There were times where I think that conversation was going one way, and the administration kind of heard us and said, oh, we're gonna change it to this way. And so it just felt like actual productive work in order for us to get to where we need to go, because we all, including you, the students, the staff, we know we need change and we want change. And so today felt like an actual step, not just a box that we were gonna check.
Yeah, I mean, it was a start. And we have these 2 days, we go 16 hours, 14 hours, which it's going to be a good start. I think we need to continue to revisit this. We're not going to be able to start a new school from scratch based on 16-hour conversations, right? And so we have to, I think, continue to further define student expectations and consequences for students who do not meet those expectations. I think that needs to be further defined. But it's a start. We're moving forward on that. And we, like I said, needed today to just be in the same space, the same room together as a staff and kind of hash that out.
I mean, one thing that I feel like I saw today was commitment. There was no room for lip service today. That was one thing that I felt pretty clearly. I think everybody's committed to a certain extent, but I think today, as a collective, we were like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And we're gonna hold each other accountable for it. It's not just gonna be, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this, and then it goes away. We're holding each other accountable. We're gonna have to go out. And that's just the way we're gonna have to move forward. And that's not just, that's admin, that's staff, that's students, that's teachers. We have to we all own this, parents. We all own this. And if we don't do something as a group, and that also means parents have to be just as accountable as we do. We can work with your child from the time they walk into CHS to the time they walk out at the end of the day. But when they walk out at the end of the day, you're back to being yours. And we need support from you, just like you need support from us.
Actually, just to directly answer the question, are we solving all the problems in 2 days? No. We're gonna come back Monday, everything fixed, new school? No. Will we feel safer? Will the school feel safer? Definitive, yes.
Hello, my name is Ania Bryant. I'm a senior here at Charlottesville High School. First, I just want to thank the community the way y'all came together on Friday to provide lunches, spaces, resource centers, haircuts today, because self-care is important and meals are important. I sometimes come to school, lunch is the only meal some students get, and sometimes school is the only outlet for those. I want to say y'all never know what's going on at home for some students. So when you say these students, you're talking about some of my friends, you're talking about people that share the same blood as me, that could be cousins. So let's make sure that we're being proactive and not reactive in the school. I feel safe every day. On the stage, these are some reasons why I feel safe. Holly, Ms. Brown, Mr. Mr. Patterson, forgetting your name right now, and things like that. And let's work on bringing restorative talking in, because we discipline a student, they go home, and then we're coming back and we're going back to business as usual for the students as well. I hope that when we come back, the students are able to have this same talk, because there's not a lot of students here due to transportation and due to such late notice, but we're all in the building, we're all here, we're able to do this as a school. and as like the student body and as peers. Thank you.
Oh wait, thank you, Nene. So I want to echo what Ms. Bryant said about these students, and I know I said it before, but just as much as you all want us to change things in the building, we want you to change in the community. And that has, if you want us committed to safety, I want you all to commit to the entire student body and stop talking about the students as these students. There are students that are dealing with situations that we are not aware of, and I am not justifying behavior. I am not saying that they should get away with what's happening, but when you don't support them, they know it. They knew you were talking about them, and you're adults. So you support our kids, and we will support your kids in the school.
To that these kids comment. I teach Algebra 1 here, and many of you know that many of the students, when they arrive to Charlottesville High School taking Algebra 1, it's literally us trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, just to be quite honest. But what I have noticed is I've been able to embrace some of those kids, as we say, you know, air quotes, those kids, these kids. They need hope, and instilling in them the possibility and telling them, you can do this, you will be successful, you will pass this. Last year, I had 56 students. Many of them came in very low on the standards of learning test from previous years, many of whom never passed an SOL. Of those 56, we had 50 students pass the Algebra 1 SOL. In their compulsory education, and just to see that evolution from the time they walk into school on the first day to the end, like, Mr. Pat, man, I passed an SOL class. Yes, you did that, and we helped facilitate that. But first, we have to instill in them that you can, you will, we believe you will, and along with Holly and I work together as co-teachers, and we wear them out with the affirmation. And sometimes they get bogged down by it, but you will do it. You can do this. And so it is possible. It is, we get to see those, and that's the rewarding part. That's why we come into this building every day. That's why we do what we do.
Thank you.
Something Joseph said made me think of this. This invitation to the community to help us out in our school right now, and in the weeks and years to come, is our students need to see 5 years, 10 years down the road that someone who is them, but 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. So the invitation is open to community members to come in and help, whether that's mentoring, whether that's being a presence. And I know that there's some ideas that have been talked about, but like how can students see themselves 5, 10 years down the road? I was talking to a former student before this about that, and there are already some programs in place that exist, but we need to continue that outreach so that we can invite the community.
We're ready for the next comment or question.
Hi, my name is Kristen Pate. I have 3 boys right now at CHS and a girl waiting in the wings. I'm here to say I will substitute teach. I came back during COVID and I am not equipped to handle what's going on in the halls, and I'm a little nervous about stay put, stay tuned when kids are trying to leave the rooms. And so in general, I want to be here to support, but I'm also really, really nervous about this. And I'm hoping that in your discussions and anybody who is able to make policy will address this, because we want substitutes to come in, but I'm afraid right now. I'm just not equipped for this, but I want to be there for our kids. So, anyway,
So the next school board meeting is gonna be held in 2 weeks, so we encourage you to give your feedback to school board. It's important for us to voice what it is that we're feeling as parents and as community members, so, please, by all means, they wanna hear it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, we spent time specifically talking about, protocol and improving the world of a substitute. And that was a specific item that we spent time on, and that it's gonna be, something that is explored more. So, we definitely hear you and appreciate. Send me your number. We'll call you, get you the bill on Monday.
I also, I want to say thank you first. And hey, hallway, you need anything, come to me. We are all there for all the kids. And one thing that came up over and over today is just how can we involve the community more? That our school is part of Charlottesville. And one thing I appreciate actually about this evening, having a chance to talk candidly, is that I know that a lot is going around on social media, and just like the telephone game, sometimes something happens and then it gets passed along and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I have never felt unsafe at my school, and I think for the vast majority of the time, it feels perfectly safe. It's just that there are certain incidents that get videotaped and get spread around, and then the stories grow and grow. And so I could see, since, in the beginning of this meeting, I could see some anxiety amongst parents around safety. I mean, I care about that too, for myself, for my children, for all my students. And if it helps to hear from a teacher just to reassure you, it's not a war zone in our school. It really, there are these isolated incidents, and we are working on better systems. Again, we've been understaffed. We've gotten commitments from our admin who's been with us. We have a new principal coming in who was my first principal when I started at CHS. I love Mr. Leather, and I'm very excited that he's coming back to us. And so, take everything with a grain of salt as well. We put a pause on because we saw the direction that we were going in, and we wanted to be proactive. But we are also not at a place where, I am never afraid to send my own child to school. And he has frustrations about the bathrooms or certain things, but he doesn't feel unsafe either. So just, we can also take a breath and recognize it's a school, and they're teenagers, and we're okay, and we are going to be better.
And with that being said, shout out to our CSAs. Yes. The work that they do, we can put more money to them, give them all grades, absolutely. We enjoy our CSAs, we love the work that they do. I know at times it seems exhaustive. And again, right, there's a snippet of what happens, and it's projected on social media to news outlets as if that is how our school is defined. It's unfortunate, we have 5, and they can't be everywhere at the same time, but the work that they do in relationship building and de-escalation and community connections, being able to bring in those relationships that they've built with some of their family members. They know many of the students' family members. The work that they do, the relational piece, is very integral in our school safety. And yeah, like Tina, I have my son attends here, and he does not feel unsafe coming to the school. There are some teachers who do. They feel they're a little skeptical, and that we talk about that today in terms of how we can better support each other in this space. But yeah, shout out to our CSAs.
Someone in the back said we need more CSAs. Yeah, I agree with that.
You can go ahead with your comment.
Hi, I'm Eleanor Biasioli. My kids had gone through Charlottesville High. I want to thank the teachers. I am so glad you took the day off. And I congratulate those who are willing to speak up and say something. You know, ever since Columbine, we've heard, see something, say something. And that's just what you've done for the community, is to say something to us. And my concern when I hear you talking now, I realize you have lost trust in administration being able to deal with the issues at whatever level. Back in 1999, when Columbine happened, two of the researchers at the University of Virginia, and some of you may know of them, Dewey Cornell and Peter Sherris, were on the President Clinton's Commission on School Violence. They were selected because they had been doing research back in the 1990s on school crisis, school violence. And today now, Dewey Cornell is the director for Youth Violence Project. If you've heard about threat assessments, school crisis, the kind of bullying that goes on, they have been working back in the early 2000s. There were programs going on both in the city and the county schools where they were bringing in their graduate students. They were working with the schools on school climate, school bullying. This is still going on today. And one of the things that they talk about is in terms of safe schools. I encourage you all to go ahead. Look at the research that's being done there. I think a lot of the issues that you're facing get addressed in the research that's gone on. There is an authoritative school climate survey that the state has the schools do. I wonder if that school climate has ever been shared with you. It's supposed to happen every couple of years, and I don't know if because of COVID, it wasn't done. But what you're talking about is what is the school climate at Charlottesville High School? And if you're able to get a hold of those surveys, the results of them, it might give you a start as to how students and faculty are feeling about the climate in the school. What happens is you manage to get everybody to get together, and you had a great training today, and you'll probably have another great one tomorrow. And programs get implemented, and then you have new administrators come in, you have new staff come in, new substitute teachers who want to be here. What are the policies and procedures? Is the training done for all the new people coming in every year? Is it being done so that they are aware of these policies, procedures? They know about bullying prevention, they know about school climate, they know how to do that kind of work with their staff. So there were things done years ago, and now has it been dropped? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We do this school climate surveys. We do those quite a lot, actually. The students have surveys, the staff has surveys, and we do see the results of those. We've been an administrator down for quite a bit of time during this year, not just since Mr. Pitt resigned.
But previous to that, we had another admin move after we got a new, she was new and then she left. So we've been an administrator down, so it hasn't been easy. You know, there's what, 4, 5 administrators to cover our whole school. So it's not so much that, I can't say I've lost trust in admin. I think that there's a lot going on and there's very few of them to take care of it. So we're stepping up now more so than ever to kind of help fill some of those voids. We're in the halls a lot more. We're giving up our duty and planning periods to be in the hall, cover classes. We're doing the things to try to make it better, but we do have access to the climate surveys.
I don't really have a question, it's more of a statement. I have parents where I have an email, I have a text, and I don't know about every other parent in this room, but every time I get one that says all students are safe, my heart literally drops from my chest. One, I feel like those types of messages can be phrased a little bit differently. But that leads me to communication. Every other time that something has happened, we get a message like that. But not about this. Not about this situation, not about what's been going on. Everything that I have learned, what has led up to now, I have learned from my 16-year-old son, who has come home, showed me videos, showed me messages, and told me things that are happening in his school, in front of his face. You talk about, telephone on Facebook and stuff like that, but a lot of the time, that's where we've gotten our information because there's been no communication. It has been sugar-coated, it has not been talked about, and it took you guys standing up and making a stand for even any kind of messaging to go out to the parents whatsoever. Every other little bitty thing has been communicated, but why wasn't this communicated to us? Why wasn't we told straight up, yes, there is an issue, there is a problem, and we're working on it. You don't even have to say we have a solution right now. All you have to say is we are aware that this is happening and we are going to work on it, but we got nothing. The safety of our children is non-negotiable. The safety of the staff in this building is non-negotiable. So I'm just asking for more clear, non-sugar-coated communication when issues like this are happening in our schools. Thank you.
I think what we're going to try to do right now is, because we're kind of getting close to the time that we're supposed to end, is trying to do minimum questions from teachers and trying to take as many comments from the public as possible. So, go ahead.
My name is Beth Ike. I have an 8th grader and a 5th grader, but I'm here with a friend who has a freshman, and we have a question. What can we do for y'all? What can the parents and community do in the immediate future to help? I don't know whether that's I go to Costco and I buy granola bars, or if it's I hear the mentoring piece and I appreciate the invitation to come into the schools. But is there anything on Monday, on Tuesday, between now and the holiday break that we can do to be supportive of you guys as teaching faculty or the CSAs or the admin? We'd love to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess what I would say is have a conversation with your student about the expectations that you have for them while they're coming to school, because your expectation for them is probably the same as ours, of how to be a student in school. So some of that can come from you as well. It doesn't just have to be our conversation with them. You can have a conversation with them at home and ask them what's going on at school. Ask them what they need, because this has to be student driven as well. It's not just about what the teachers need. It has to also be about what the students need. And we need for you to talk to your children about what they need when they come to school, because then they can communicate with us.
So I like for the kids to come and talk to me about what they need. So if you have that conversation, that's the starter that maybe they need when they come to my classroom and we sit down and have a discussion together.
Also, this has been said before, but it's worth repeating. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving, when we meet with family, when we meet with friends, and we tell stories, and we talk. Tell stories about Charlottesville High School that are not just about the negatives and the fights, and tell the stories of Charlottesville High School that made you commit to the school and continue to make you commit to the school. Tell the stories that your students have of the positives.
Thank you so much. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, my name is Elizabeth. I graduated CHS in 2017. Hi, Ms. Vasquez. I just want to share the memory I have of CHS. So some of my favorite memories in CHS was interacting and socializing with different cultures and ethnicities, and getting to spend time with many people from different backgrounds, and expanding my knowledge and learning about the world outside of who I am. And I mean, we found pride in our diversity as we were able to celebrate the differences the same way we did with our similarity. But one thing that has always remained consistent from when I was a student to now is the way people outside of Charlottesville High School talk about CHS. And I think echoing that narrative that was brought up, like how many students in CHS was seen as ghetto. Online I saw articles, students being seen as threats. The narrative outside of CHS has always been demeaning, rooted in racism, and has been patronizing. A lot of people found offense in what I found pride. So CHS has a lot of memories for me, good memories, just because, once again, a lot of different people, a lot of different food, a lot of different music, different ways to talk, to interact, I had good memories. And I know it's been a long time since 2017, and a lot has been changing rapidly, and a lot of it is also out of our control. But I hope to see more programs to help our refugee students, our low-income students, our Black and brown students, to adjust and ease into our school socially and academically, not just to get the results of being oh, look at CHS, we got a high percentage of graduation rate. No, that shouldn't really be the importance. It should be our students' mental well-being. Our students' culture and school climate should be prioritizing joy, fun. And on top of our staff being paid because they need to be paid, y'all. I hope in the future we can see our students' voices be prioritized. What do they need? Where do we find the unsafeness here in school? I also challenge all of you guys, when you guys speak about being unsafe, where is that rooted from? Is it because the majority of our students in CHS are not white? Just challenging it, that's it. So thank you, students, thank you, teachers. Once again, I really hope we get to prioritize our students' voices more than ever. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nas Sumter. I'm a senior currently here at Charlottesville High School. And I feel as if everything's being sugar-coated. I think that disciplinary action is needed severely. These kids that we're talking about, my brother was one of those kids, and my mother wrote him up herself, like self-referred him 4 times. 4 times. It took her 4 times to self-refer him before he put a Lugo McGinnis. So yeah, I think that I'm just gonna be honest. There's kids that are roaming the halls every day that don't go to class. There's kids that go in the bathrooms and just smoke tobacco. There's kids that just start random fights. And in all honesty, they need to be disciplinary. At this point, it's about the district and how the district implements these rules. These kids need disciplinary action like severely, and it's not even close to like what we're making it. We're making it seem as if it's a race problem, but it's not. It's how these kids are acting. It's not a race problem. It's how these kids are acting. We're just it's how it is.
Hi, my name is Skippy Norton. I'm a sophomore at CHS, and this is Naomi Round. She's also a sophomore at CHS. And I just want to say, I think a lot of people have been saying this tonight, but I think it's really easy to just be quick to judge CHS, and there's so many negative things that are being broadcasted and shown about CHS. But I just want everyone here to also remember there's so much good that I see every day when I come to school, and I think that that's just not being shown. Like when all this happened, like all my teachers emailed me how much they miss us and stuff like that, and how they're there for us. And there's just so much community also at CHS. And I think there's yes, a lot of bad things, but there's also so much good, and so many people all just want to come together. And I just want to say I'm super proud to be a Black Knight.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Wes. One, thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it and support the work in which you all are doing. My comments aren't necessarily towards you. I don't even have a question. My comments are more so for the people in the crowd. It's probably unpopular, but I'm really disappointed in the loud jeers and the cheers that we hear when individuals are talking about some of the issues that they have. But then when Dr. Gurley and Principal Pitts, before he left, will consistently send out emails, phone call communications for people to come in and assist, it's silence. When there's consistent asks made of the community, specifically men. We had a whole meeting last year in which he called a community room of people, specifically men, to come in. We need your assistance to come and help us in the hallways. We need your assistance to come and help out and mentor some of these young men. Silence. So again, I'm talking. No, well, sure. So the issue is very easy for us to be able to point the fingers at whatever the quote unquote policymakers are doing, but policy can't dictate specifically what's going on in the school when they're underfunded, one, when there are a lack of teachers, two, and then there's a lack of community who want to be vested in assisting these children, not just your children. So again, this is I'm talking. But I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna respect you and I'm gonna talk to you afterwards. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk, I do have a child here. So no, I have a child here, I have mentors, I have mentees here.
Excuse me.
So here's the thing, Jose. So Jose, specifically, you and I should be more here in the school. Yeah, no, so you and I should take the challenge to be here. If all of us have an issue with how people are feeling when it comes to safety specifically, then the answer is very simple. Come and either volunteer or you can come and assist. but just talking isn't gonna get us to where it needs to be. Again, it's not popular, but it's the truth. Thank you.
I think it's important to consider the capacity of the people within the room. Not everybody has the same capacity to volunteer. I think that it's important that people show up to have these conversations. And it's important to be open-minded to listen to what other people are living and their individual perspective. So again, I would like for the room to be kept respectful within each other. Sorry about that, guys. And we'll continue to the next comment.
Hi, my name is Sarah Tansey. I have two teenagers who are students at CHS, a 15-year-old and an almost 18-year-old. And I feel like I must be an anomaly in this room tonight because I struggle to parent my two teenagers. Teenagers are hard. They are going through so much every day. And while it may not seem as important as it should be to me, when my kid comes home and is despondent, not responding to me, hiding in her room because she's had another fight with her boyfriend or whatever it is, we've been struggling with her in class. She's a hall walker. Like, when I punish her, which she does sometimes, like consequences are sometimes necessary, but I don't know about the other parents in the room. If I punish my child, it alienates her from me, right? So if we're talking about disciplinary actions and we're talking about what consequences have to look like, I really hope that all of us are willing to have a braver conversation about trauma-informed care for every single student in this high school, because we can discipline away things and push people and children, we're talking about children, we can push people to the margins, we can put them in other schools, we can hide them in night school, but that just further embeds inequality, racism, white supremacy, classism, ableism into a system that we know we have to root it out of. I've heard so much just discipline, we need more. I understand that that is true. I understand that that has to be a balance. But if we want to create real systematic change so that these explosive fights, our kids are angry. Wouldn't you be angry? Look around at the world. They are in these halls, and what does their future look like? Do you see something beautiful when you imagine the future of every student here at CHS? The world is on fire, there are multiple conflicts raging. Of course they're angry, and they're gonna take it out on each other because that's who they have access to. So I hope that in the conversations that you all are having, that you all are reaching, and I've heard so much from the teachers out here tonight that encourage me. And I appreciate the way you have fought for all students and really named that dynamic. But I hope that as a community, we can be braver and have these great conversations that our teachers are having and support solutions that heal our students so that they can be whole humans and so that they can walk out of these hallways into a future that they co-create and build together. That's all.
Thank you.
Hi, I just you were saying talk to our children and see what it is they want out of this. And my daughter's a student here, and I know I know the chaos is happening in the halls, but I also know that it's happening within the classrooms. And she has expressed to me multiple times throughout the year that she just wants to be taught. She wants to come to school and she wants to learn. And because of the chaos happening within the classroom, she's not even able to get the instruction she needs to learn the material. And she feels like she's being left behind because of it. And I understand that you all are struggling with that too. And I don't know how we can get back to just teaching our children and giving them a safe space to learn. And anything that we can do to make that possible, even if I'm not an educator, but I'm happy to volunteer and come in, I'm sure other people are. But anything I can do to help you all to create safe spaces for our children to learn, because my daughter has expressed to me multiple times that she feels like because of the chaos, learning is now like secondhand. It's like she's not getting the aid or the help she needs to understand the material. So that's just expressing what she's expressing. So thank you for
Hi, I'm an educator as well, so I see it on both ends. And with having a niece that goes to Charlottesville High School, I do worry about her safety because she was attacked with mace. So, you know, that worries me. So, and I know it worries teachers too. Me as an educator, picking it back off of what the young man said, we gotta stop sugarcoating stuff. We really, really do. We have to stop sugarcoating. It's things that goes on in the school, and like I said, the phones is our worst enemy. The phones are our worst enemies, and if we could take the phones out, it would be so much better. Where I educate at, we take phones. That's why we don't have a lot of issues with fighting people coming into the school or anything like that. But I do pray and I wish and I give my all prayers to the teachers that this get better. It has to get better. But we know it gets worse sometimes before it gets better. But I'm just praying that everything gets better.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Molly, I'm a student in Charlottesville in 10th grade. I would just like to thank all of the teachers who are here, even who aren't on the stage, who just put all of their effort into their students. And Mr. Deegan, you're a great teacher, thank you. But I want to feel safe at school, and I think my teachers make me feel safer in their classrooms. But outside of the classroom, in the hallways and in the cafeteria, I don't feel safe no matter who I'm with. Even if there's a police officer there, I don't feel safe because I've been everyone who's around a fight gets taken into the fight somehow. When I was in 8th grade, I got once someone was in a fight and they pushed me to get into the fight, and when people are filming, everyone's harassing everybody around them, and I just want to feel safer at school, and that's basically it. But I just want the school system to stop. I want the truth. I want details. I don't want to be oh, there's an intruder in the building, but we're in a lockdown. I want how did the intruder get in? I want what do they have a weapon on them? I want to know what's going on. And I think I'd rather have my phone on me when I'm at school and be able to text my parents or call my parents. No, not even call them. Just to text them to be I feel safe in my classroom, but I don't know what's happening, and I need them to give me information because teachers don't. So that's.
Thank you. I think we're going to try to take one last comment.
Yes, so this is just a comment. I'm Sylvia Elder, and I'm with Janet Martin, the president of the NAACP, and we just have a statement we'd like to read. The Albemarle Charlottesville branch of the NAACP believes that the current situation has much to do with past systemic and structural barriers that must be dismantled if true progress is to be made. We have the utmost respect for Dr. Gurley and expect that with his leadership, our community will reimagine school policies and cultivate a culture of respect, a precursor to positive academic and socio-emotional development. Schools are supposed to be safe havens. We are deeply saddened by the violence in CHS. No parent should have to worry about the physical and or emotional safety of their children while they are in the schools their taxpayer supports. We believe that investment in mental health and parent collaboration in elementary schools will help counselors and teachers provide resources necessary to meet the needs of all Charlottesville students. We want the very best for our children and are poised to fight with even the struggle. Also attending tonight, we may have the chairman of the NAACP Education Committee from the State Department. I don't know if she's here, Dr. Amy Tillerson Brown. Anyway, I just want you to know that it's just not the local branch who's concerned about this issue, it's the whole state of Virginia. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Washington. Of course, you guys know me. I have been at Charlottesville High School for about a year and a half. This is the second year of me being there. I originally started out as a care and safety assistant, being in the hallways every single day, having a lot of interaction with our students that are in our hallways every day. One of the most important things that I think that we need to do is figure out why they're in the hallways. Because they're not going to class for no reason, right? I think that we need to pay attention to why we have kids in the hallways, pay attention to why they don't want to go to class, pay attention to why they're feeling inadequate in places where they're meant to succeed. I went to the walk program this year, and the walk program expanded, bringing in 9th and 10th graders this year. Many of those students have been in the fights that we've been having going on this entire year. They are wonderful in our classroom because they're comfortable in our classroom. We have very little to no disciplinary problems. Of the 39 students that we have in our walk program with 9th and 10th graders, 35 of those students have never passed an SOL. 36 of those students are on a 3rd grade or lower reading level. They have been passed through school and have failed the entire way. So I think that's a big thing that we need to look at when we're paying attention to, when people are saying these kids. We need to really figure out why they don't want to go to class. They're just not going not to go. There's a reason behind that. And I think once we get to the bottom of that, it will help us get to the root of some of our issues.
My name is Dave Stipe. I manage the Martin Luther King Performing Arts Center. My wife is also an elementary teacher at Berlin Moran. She's a music teacher. Both of my kids are in the schools division. I'm here to kind of address everybody in the room too. It's awesome that everybody showed up. But this needs to keep happening. We need to go to school boards. I know that audiences don't look like this at school board meetings. And so we need to keep going to school board meetings. The fact that we already had parents saying that, like, I'm going to step up and substitute teach, it's deeply needed. Like, it's deeply, deeply needed. That was one of the biggest things that we've been talking about this year, is that we are just understaffed and under-resourced. And so I'm going to put this back to all of us parents in this school division, is that we need to think about how we can be involved on a day-to-day basis, not just a one-time single action, to show up in a room like this and be able to voice our concerns, because those concerns are the same things that the teachers have. These are all NBA All-Star levels of educators. Our school's full of them, but there's not enough of us, and there's not enough people in the halls. So if you have the ability to volunteer, I don't know that we have any kind of actionable things that we can dictate today, but I think it's all of your responsibilities to keep in touch with the schools, the teachers, the central office, the school board, to find out what roles can you fill in this building on a frequent and consistent basis that can't just be isolated. Today was really about teachers being heard and listened to, because these things have been expressed for a very long time now. And it took action like this for it to be able to be heard. But it really is about us in the community and parents to be in the building, figure out what you can do to be involved. And keep your eyes and ears out from our central office and from our school, from our CHS offices, about things that we have available for parents and volunteers to come in and work in the buildings. Thank you.
Any last comments from our teachers?
I want to thank Dave for that call to action, because I feel like any productive dialogue, you want to leave an action plan, something that you can do. I also want to say that there's, volunteer orientations. The idea of volunteering doesn't even mean you have to spend days. You could come for an hour. You could even be a guest in a class, a guest speaker. Just even having more adults in the building, more role models, is helpful. I also just want to reiterate, what you can do is have pride in the school, not lose faith, stay positive, stay united, stay with us. There are still so many beautiful things about our school that are not being talked about. So I'm just going to share one short story to remind us of Elizabeth coming up, and from her class, 3 girls did a project, and these were students who came from different countries or different cultural backgrounds, and remembered how hard it was when they first came. And they said, we wish we had a program where like other students could help us out, when we were new, and show us around and explain how things happen in the school when we didn't speak any English. And from that, our multilingual mentoring program was born, and we got a grant, and we started running it. Now we're in year 7, and we have been receiving more and more and more English learner students at our school. The percentage is going up higher and higher. But every time a new student starts, no matter what date of the year, we have 2 students who will be starting next Monday. There are going to be other students who have been trained in leadership training and mentorship, and they will meet those students when they come. They are matched. They will show them around. They will welcome them. They will speak to them in their home languages and help them to feel safe and welcome. And it's beautiful. We went to a ropes course training the other week, and even those kids, they were doing these high ropes, and they saw, they're like, I can't do that. But they supported each other. Just seeing these student leaders who, many of them, experienced war-torn situations and really hopeless situations in the past. You look at them now, and they're leaders, and they put themselves outside of their comfort zones, and they do all this volunteer work. Silently. No one knows what they do every day on top of juggling their own studies. And they're so inspirational. And we just have so many students and so many programs in our building that don't make social media. But that need to remember, they are the ones, they give us hope, they give us faith. And I think we need to have more student-led programs. Just as some say, we can solve these solutions. It's really the students themselves, lifting them up, giving them voice, giving them agency. I say don't complain about what's messed up. Explain give them the tools, explain what are their needs, what are their frustrations, and to look for solutions. And I really believe that's a way forward for us. So.
I want to say thank you to everybody for coming out tonight. It was really heartwarming to look out and see so many people from so many different walks of life. I want to thank Dr. Gurley and Dr. Johnson for this space today to do what we needed to do, and the space tomorrow, which didn't have to do that. So I do want to thank you for that because it is necessary. I just need to make sure that everybody understands that these kids are our kids. I have 3 daughters who graduated from Charlottesville High School who are doing exceedingly well, and they're doing that because their foundation came from here. It came from Charlottesville High School, along with my husband and I, of course, but it came from Charlottesville High School. The things and the tools that they were taught here have been doing major, amazing things. One's a teacher here at Charlottesville City Schools. She's a teacher at Walker. One is an event manager and is a national title holder in the pageant world. One is getting her doctorate in December from Baylor at the age of 26. So Charlottesville High School creates amazing, amazing people and amazing adults. But we have to give them the tools, we have to give them the space to do that. We have to be here for them no matter what they do, no matter who they are. I can be with somebody and they can be having a horrible day, but I'm still gonna see them the next day and give them a hug and ask them, are you okay from yesterday? I know things weren't going well. I had somebody I had an encounter with in the cafeteria, and that same day I went and found this student and just said, look, that wasn't you. That wasn't like you. Tell me what's going on. So we need to have those open dialogues with our students, but we also want to have those dialogues with you as well. This is important. This is important work. We're shaping the lives and shaping the minds of our future. As everybody says, it's so cliche, but it's so true. So thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you do as parents and community members. And we just want to see you do even more. Come on into the school. We're here. We're more than happy to have you. And once again, thank you.
I'll just close with just saying thank you. And we recognize the issues, and we are committed to fixing it. And I understand many of you are maybe hesitant or anxious, or I'm not sure, I'm not trying to put words, but things that I've heard. But we are committed to making this an amazing school because we love the kids that walk through these doors. So we're in a bad space and we recognize that, but we are 100% committed to changing it. And we will need your support through that, so thank you.
Thank you everybody for taking the time out to listen to us and come hang out with us for a little bit. I just want to, it seemed like, you know, that I guess some people wanted us to paint this doom and gloom, this war zone. And we can get up here and highlight all of the negative stuff, you know, but it's not just particular or specific to Charlottesville City Schools. So we can look across this country, and we see that we're reshaping what it means to be an educator in the 21st century. And you know, when I just reflect on just a little bit of kind of how we all come to this building every single day, knowing the challenges that we face, and we sign up for it. We enjoy being here. We love our kids, like Holly said. We love spending time with the students. And this is what we signed up for. It's not easy some days, but at the end of the day, we desire to get to that united front. We know we're not going to save the world, but we do know this, that some is going to plant, some is going to water. We leave an imprint here, an imprint there, and then we hope that in the end, that we get to see those stories as they blossom and grow into citizens of our community, and we can see that it paid off eventually. But thank you again so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. Your presence shows that you value this school and this community. So thank you. I want to thank the school board for making a decision so that teachers on Sunday night didn't have to. Thank you. So that we could have this space to be able to talk. And why did you all come here? So you were curious. You wanted to hear from teachers. You might have been a little afraid of the future of this school, but I can tell you that we have some committed educators here, and I witness every day the talent and the commitment and the passion that the educators in this building bring, and you have nothing to worry about. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Charlottesville United for Public Education will be transcribing and coding the feedback that we received, and we will be submitting to school board. Your presence and your feedback, comments, everything is invaluable. We really appreciate the commitment from our community to come out and support each other. And I think that if we learned anything tonight, it's that we need to have more sessions like this where we have safe spaces and we're able to have open dialogue with each other. So again, we weren't looking to find solutions today, we weren't looking for answers, but I think that we received a good amount of feedback from the community, and we're able to now process that and hopefully come up with some solutions in the near future. Thank you. I'm sorry, one last thing. There will be a Google form that is on our website, charlottesvilleunited.org. So if anybody that didn't get the opportunity to make comment, you will have the opportunity to make comment there. Thank you.